bold, iconic, a little dreamy energy made its way back into the spotlight recently. A Pretty Woman 2 poster with a sequel name, A Second Chance, started making the headlines online, and the internet went in a full buzzing mode. The excitement it sparked felt as if Vivian and Edward were officially back for a moment. But it was for a moment, indeed. Turns out, the poster was just a fan-made tease. Still, the reaction was loud, real, and kind of impossible to ignore. Which brings us to the big question. Could a sequel actually happen? Because at this point, why not? And it got people thinking. If a sequel did happen, where would it even begin? Because the original didn't end with a typical fairy tale bow. Vivian got her ride up in the white limo, sure. Edward faced his fears and made the big romantic gesture. So what happened after he climbed up the tower and rescued her? She rescues him right back. But what came after that moment? We never got to see the reality of what loving each other actually looked like outside of a hotel balcony in a stretch limo. Did they make it? Did they try and fail? Or did life just move on? That's exactly what makes the idea of a Pretty Woman sequel feel so alive right now. It wouldn't just be a simple nostalgia trip, since there is real emotional ground to explore. A new chapter could reflect who they are now, what love looks like after time has passed, and whether fairy tales really do hold up in the real world. It's also worth remembering just how rare it is for a romantic film to leave a legacy like this. Most love stories fade after a few years. They're sweet, they're fun, and then they're gone. But Pretty Woman stayed. It became a cultural landmark, a comfort rewatch, a reference point for what chemistry on screen should feel like. And that's part of why this sequel feels different. It's not just about what comes next in the story. It's about returning to something that genuinely meant something. And let me be honest, if I list the couples that deserve a second look, they definitely deserve to be on there. And it's not just fans like us who've been wondering. The original cast has been asked about a sequel more times than we can count. And over the years, the answers have been shifting. Just recently, Richard Gere gave an interview where he admitted he'd be open to the idea if the story felt right. Classic answer, right? And hearing that, I couldn't help but feel a spark of hope. He said, "I don't think we'd just do it, but if there is something there that makes sense, who knows?" That alone stirred something. Because if Edward's willing to show up again, that's a big deal. Because naturally, your mind goes straight to Vivian. Would she meet him halfway? Let's see. As for Julia Roberts, she spoke about the idea last year and was a little more cautious. She said the film was a moment in time and that she's not sure it needs a sequel. And honestly, I get where she's coming from. That role meant so much. To her, to us, to the entire legacy of the film. But even in that hesitation, there's room for possibilities. If the right script came along, she'd most likely say yes. Because let's be honest, there are so many reasons for her to say yes, and barely any to say no. Of course, Vivian and Edward are the heart of it all, but they're not the only ones we're excited for. Fans haven't forgotten Kit, Barney, or even Edward's uptight lawyer friend. The supporting cast gave the film its charm and its warmth. And honestly, most of them have spoken fondly about the original over the years. There's no official word on whether they'd return, but if a sequel were to happen, it wouldn't be surprising to see a few familiar faces show up, just enough to make it feel like stepping back into that world, but with a new story to tell. And who wouldn't want to see Jason Alexander back, right? I don't know about you, but I can't shake the feeling that something is brewing. When a fan-made poster makes this much noise, it's not just nostalgia talking. It means people still care. A lot. I've watched the excitement grow. The way people still react at the mention of Vivian and Edward says everything. Their story may have paused, but it never really ended. And deep down, I think we're all curious about where it could go next. There's nothing official yet. Unfortunately, no big reveal. But if something is quietly moving behind the scenes, I've got a feeling we might see the first teaser next year. And if it all lines up, 2027 could be the year Pretty Woman returns. Not just to the screen, but to this version of us. The ones who never stopped hoping. And when that moment comes, we'll both know we were already here before it was even real. So the energy around this, it's electric. Fans are fired up, the cast hasn't closed the door, and the timing feels right. Everything's lining up like something big could actually be happening. We've talked through the possibilities, the what-ifs, and the reasons this sequel just makes sense. And when Pretty Woman 2 finally drops, because let's be real, it's starting to feel inevitable, I'll be watching the trailer on loop. And you probably will too. So tell me, what do you want to see when Vivian and Edward return? And if you're curious about another long-awaited sequel, The Princess Diaries 3, check out this video.